Hey guys, Jeff Schneider here, and today we're going to start a 3-part series on ear training. So this is going to be part 1. Make sure you subscribe so that you get notified when part 2 and 3 come out. These are the 3 best exercises I know for developing great ears. Let's start off with the first exercise. This one was made famous by the great teacher Charlie Banakis. He was a former teacher of mine, unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but I wanted to share this exercise with you guys because it's just so effective. And by the way, this exercise works best when done with a partner. So one of you will be the one testing and the other one will be listening. So the tester plays a cadence in the key of C major. A cadence just like a few chords, the 1 chord, which would be C major, the 4 chord, F major, the 5 chord, G major, and then resolving back to the 1 chord, C major. So now that key center is firmly established in everyone's ears. The next step is the tester plays a note, any note, and the person who's listening has to guess what note it is. Now you can guess by saying the letter name, which in this case would be D, or you can say the scale degree, which would be 2 in this case. I like scale degrees just because I feel like they're more transferable from key to key, but either works fine. Now, I recommend starting off simple by just focusing on the white keys and not worrying about the black keys. And I basically mean starting off with just naturals, and then you can start folding in those sharps and flat notes. Just a good way to kind of develop the exercise from an easier level to one that's more difficult. Another way to make it even easier if you're having trouble there is to just focus on maybe the first 3 notes of the scale. So again, you set up the cadence, or rather you set up the key with the cadence, and then you play a note. In that case, I played 2 notes because I screwed up. But hopefully we can start by playing 1 note. There we go. The listener hears it, takes a guess, sounds like an E, and they'd be right. Let's do a couple for you. I'll play the cadence. Ready? What note is this? Okay, so that was a G, also known as the 5th. And guys, I want to also mention that when you're trying to figure out what these notes are, the notes that are in question, you don't really want to do it in terms of an interval. It's not an intervallic exercise where you're determining the relationship between how, if it's a 3rd or a 4th or a 5th from C. It's really more about hearing how each scale degree sounds within the context of the key. Meaning, if I play this cadence and I play this note, that A sounds different in context compared to E or compared to F. And, the next exercise in the series actually will further go into that idea of hearing colors and getting to know the personalities of the different scale degrees. But for now, just really kind of go on your gut instinct. If you get it wrong, that's fine. Again, to make it easier, just you can make the pool smaller, the pool of notes smaller, meaning let's say the person testing doesn't have access to all of the white notes, but rather just focuses on those first 3. That's a good way of kind of breaking this exercise down, making it more manageable. Now, the next step to make this more difficult, and this is when you're already able to confidently and consistently get the single notes down, meaning 1 note at a time, whether it be a black note or a white note, a sharp note or a natural note. The next step is to do 2 notes at a time. So you play the cadence, and you play 2 notes at a time, any 2 notes. All right? And once you're able to get each of those notes consistently and confidently, you go to 3 notes, and then you add 4 notes and 5 notes. And it obviously gets more and more difficult as you add more notes, but it's a great way of getting you to hear massive amounts of information within a chord. So for instance, if you're trying to transcribe something off of a record, or you're playing with a band and you want to know what the notes are that the piano player is playing or the guitar player is playing, or if you're just transcribing, it'll make transcribing a lot easier. Again, it's just one of those exercises that just goes so far in everything that you do because it trains your ear to be super, super sensitive and accurate to what it's hearing. This is, again, a great exercise to do with a partner, but if you don't have a partner, you can always record yourself with different examples and then maybe load it into a playlist or something and hit shuffle, and that way you don't really know what's coming up. So there's different ways of practicing this, but I highly recommend doing it with a partner. And it can be done on piano or guitar. If you want to do it on guitar, just set up the key center by playing the same chord progression and then playing however many notes at a time that you can, and that your listener is able to hear. So guys, that's the exercise. I got 2 more coming up in the next 2 parts, which are just as good, a little bit different, but in the last one is like crazy hard. So make sure you come back for that. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And guys, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll see you in part 2. Thanks.